Well, now we don't have video on, or are we supposed to be?
I put it back on the
weight screen. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We're ready.
You wanted to make sure that you did your makeup and you looked pretty for the people.
It doesn't get any prettier than this. Literally, I mean, this is the top. It's gonna get for me.
The reason it takes us so long to get ready is because Al needs to put on his makeup.
Yes.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's Nerd Radio, wherever you get your podcast as part of the BPod Studios Network and online at NerdRadio101.com. It's .com, right?
It is.
We're not a .org?
No.
Okay, or .net.
No, and I wasn't going to pay extra to spread it around.
We didn't qualify for the organization.
Yeah, right.
Oh, they don't care. As long as you spend money, you qualify.
Like 3 dudes farting into a tin can doesn't qualify as an organization.
That would have been another great episode, great podcast title. 3 dudes farting into a tin can.
Well, we can always start it.
Yep.
Always change the name if you want to make that lateral move.
It would be fun, too, because...
I like how it's a lateral move.
Yeah. Not an improvement. I wouldn't say it's getting worse than what we are. It's about the same.
It's about the same.
Yeah.
It would be fun, too, because it sets the bar so low that you could do absolutely anything on that podcast because of the title. Like, if you downloaded it and the first, listen to 5 minutes of people farting into a tin can, you'd be like, well, what did I really expect?
Yeah, and you're like, wow, for tin can farts, those guys are pretty damn good.
Right.
I love that. The lateral move to tin can farts.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
What you got to do. That's how you get a winning podcast. Yep.
My name is Chuck Bean. I am joined by my co-hosts, Al, Beck, and James for another week of Nerd Radio. Whenever you go, like I'm sitting here and I can see you, so I know that you're involved when I'm producing the show back. That to me is like an audio cue of like Al does not care. He just
took you 12 years to figure that out. Huh?
You just need to move on to whatever you want to do next because he just.
It's like the response you get from the uncaring dad when you tell him what your hopes and dreams are in high school. You're like, I'm a big deal, Dad. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do all these great things.
And that's what you get. Yeah, exactly. The that you find out like 10 years later, you discover it's like, oh, when he said he meant you'll see.
Yeah.
My life was crushed.
Right.
Yeah.
You'll see. Well, speaking of crushing life, so we were talking before the show that I've been having a hell of a week. James, you said that you had a free mop.
Yeah,
which is
free mop from the garbage men.
Yeah, which is I get kind of a bonus.
I guess kind of. If I needed a mop that smelled like dill, it would be
right.
a great bonus. Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming a mop fell out of the back of a garbage truck when they went by my house to pick up trash this week, and
you got a pickle mop.
It smells like dill. But it sucks because a mop, like, it's so tall, I can't really fit it in the garbage can and keep the lid on,
Right.
And we have rodents and things, raccoons and possums and stuff that get in the trash.
They love a dill mop.
We're like in like the rural parts of Southfield, which they're few and far between.
Right.
But it's like we're living out in the boonies. So I got this garbage truck donated nasty dill mop. Some neighborhood pickler that just left it behind.
I would put it in the yard, like people have those tiki torches.
I would see if I can light it on fire.
No, I would just lay it in, and then like it would make the yard smell like dill.
Ooh, I don't know if it's like the dill aroma. I think you guys are imagining is like a pleasant.
It's like
dill.
A pleasant pickle smell.
This is like dill that's been sitting in the trash.
Yeah, no, I was going
to been carted around in a truck that has a hydraulic smasher, and it smashes poop and trash and rotting things.
Well, then set that bitch on
couches.
fire.
Yeah.
No, I was never imagining anything.
This isn't like something you would see Harry Potter riding around on.
No.
I mean, the most white trash, meth addicted Harry Potter, who thinks he's a wizard, might ride around on it.
Yeah, I love it. Meth Quidditch.
Yeah.
You guys have seen the Weird Al Yankovic movie UHF, right?
Yeah.
It's been so
long time ago.
So I might not get the reference.
The guy who used to be Kramer on Seinfeld is the janitor. I'm picturing. I want him in a Harry Potter riding his mop.
There you go. We got the movie.
Yeah.
We got the idea. We got the talent. All we got to do is write it and get somebody to fund the money for it.
That would be fantastic.
It's a Nerd Radio original.
Well, it's been a adventure getting to this point in my week. As far as Nerd Radio is concerned, I was telling Al before you got up here, James, last week, for some reason, as we're on Twitch right now, and you guys can see us live, and we record this, and then it lives on Checkpoint's Twitch stream, but we also record to a memory card, which I then use to produce the podcast and put it up. For some reason, the memory card did not pick up this microphone last week.
Really?
Picked up both of your microphones fine. I could hear myself through your microphones. nothing out of this microphone.
That makes me very scared for whatever we do.
Isn't that your microphone for Checkpoint?
Yeah, that's where I sit when we record
I
Checkpoint.
sent him an email as soon as I felt like on Thursday. I was like, look, I don't know what y'all have been doing during the week, but this microphone wasn't coming through the memory card. I tested it before we started today. It's working fine. It's coming through the memory card. We'll see. But so producing the podcast last week was an adventure.
You had to download the whole. Oh, you probably won't have access to download the whole episode.
I had to finagle some stuff to basically pull the audio off of Twitch.
Okay.
But there was an episode last week, so obviously it worked out.
You probably had to download the whole episode, and then put that video file into some sort of a video to MP3 creator.
Right.
Yeah.
So it just rips the audio out, and then you have to take that MP3 and drop it into your editing software.
Like I said, it was an adventure, but you guys got
just talking about it.
You got an episode called Beatings Are Down on Friday. So
now with 33% less hosts.
That's exactly. And then, as anybody following me on social media and my personal page knows, I have not had air conditioning since Sunday.
Oh, that's right. I've seen that. That's rough, man. You're having a rough go with that.
Thankfully, the HVAC guy came out this morning and cleaned out the coils, and that's all it was. So as we speak now, my apartment should be a balmy 65 degrees.
Ooh.
Because I've never been so happy to be cold.
You're just cooking in your own juices.
It's been there's a lot of cold showers.
I bet. I've been taking a lot of cold showers too. That's because of poison ivy, though.
Yeah,
so they get old after a while.
It's not because of something fun, right? It's not like, man, I got to get less horny.
Yeah,
but it's just a matter of.
I've never said that in my life.
I have a way better way to get less horny than a cold shower.
Take care of it.
Way better.
That's right.
But yeah, it's
get it done.
It's amazing how refreshing a cold shower or even a cool shower can be under the right circumstances.
That's true. Well, my cold showers are not refreshing at all.
How is your poison ivy situation?
So far, so good.
Yeah.
I have a few spots on my leg.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking by the end of this week, I should be all cleared up.
It's been what, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Almost 3 weeks.
Yeah. So I would say Sunday, this upcoming Sunday, which I believe is SummerSlam.
2 weeks. So it's a week from Sunday.
Okay. So a week before SummerSlam will be 3 weeks. I've been dealing with this. I mean, technically 3.5 weeks because I had it, but didn't realize I had it. I had marks on my arm. Like,
right.
I think my dog's like, my dog rolls around in the backyard.
It takes a couple of days before you're like, okay, I gotta get
it took almost a week for it to actually show up. It took a week for me to realize that it was poison ivy, but I had evidence that poison ivy was there.
Right.
Probably like 3 days or so after.
Right. So yeah, but we've got a great show for you because I know that James, over the weekend you got to play the new Avengers game.
I did.
Definitely want to talk to you about that coming up. And Al, a new Star Trek show came out. I watched it. I'm assuming you watched it. Yeah. So we'll talk about that, the new Star Trek cartoon. But before we get there, I'm gonna rip the Band-Aid off. This is the bad news of the week that I wanted to tell you guys about because it's comic book news, and I feel like it's worth talking about. DC Comics, Warner Brothers did a massive layoff on Monday, and laid off. The reports that I saw were somewhere in the neighborhood of 600 people.
Oh wow!
Lost their job on Sunday. And DC Comics, somebody that worked or used to work for DC Comics called it a bloodletting. A bunch of their editorial staff were laid off. Their senior editorial staff. So some of their junior editors are going to essentially move up. But two major things that will affect people that enjoy DC as a company going forward is that the DC Universe app that I've got the subscription to. It has the Harley Quinn cartoon on it that they produce all that stuff for.
Yeah, the streaming service, and also gives you like comics. You can read some of the comics, right?
They eliminated almost every person working on the DC Universe app.
Oh, so the app's got a bright future ahead of it.
Yeah, and part of the reason for that is they're downsizing because they're moving, much like Harley Quinn and Doom Patrol, they're moving all that stuff over to the HBO thing.
I was just going to say, because I knew that was going over to HBO Max,
right.
So I figured that.
So it's not a matter of like all that content is going to just disappear. I wouldn't be surprised if the app disappears and they don't got nobody working on it.
If everything's going to move over to HBO Max, they might.
Right.
Or it might just become like exclusively comics like Marvel Unlimited.
That's what I would hope for.
You know?
Yeah, just make it exclusively comics and just really focus on getting comics.
The content's not disappearing, just the jobs did.
Right. But the other part of it is that DC has their own collectibles division called DC Direct that sends action figures and T-shirts and statues and stuff to the comic book stores.
Mm-hmm.
Gone.
Wow.
Absolutely gone. They whatever they've solicited up to 2 or 3 months from now, like September or October, is going to get produced, and then they're not making anything else.
Is DC in like some sort of huge financial trouble, or do you think they're just trying to prepare and trying to react to the COVID-19?
Right. Well, there's two sides to the story. The positive side to the story is they're just slimming everything down and downsizing, that they just had too many people working on too many things, and if we slim it all down and streamline it, then everything will work better.
Sounds very familiar. Sounds like
it does.
Reasons people are let go in other industries as well.
Right. But the other side, the people who have been let go, have been saying that it is absolutely COVID-19 related. I mean, obviously, all industries are feeling the hurt.
Right. Well, you also look at like Warner Brothers is the parent company, and obviously they're not putting movies out right now and stuff like that. So you almost wonder if they kind of looked at
they look at where they're pulling revenue from, and they're like, well, comics ain't making us that much money.
Right.
So
I mean, comics is very niche, or niche, or however you want to say it. So you can, maybe making not so much money.
And it's very strange, too, considering I was just telling you guys last week about, like, every week DC's got at least 1 or 2 books that are just flying off the shelves comic book wise. Yeah. Like they've got the Joker War crossover that's going on in the Batman titles right now that has Punchline in it, and they've got a new Deceased miniseries, because those miniseries have been fantastic. It's essentially the Marvel Zombies of the DC universe.
Okay, I was going to ask if that's some sort of
it's much like the Marvel Zombies was like, hey, what if all the superheroes got the zombie virus and turned evil kind of thing. It's in a similar fashion. It's what if Darkseid, the villain, that he's always looking for, what is it, the anti-life equation? Yeah. Like, what if he actually discovered the anti-life equation, and that ends up being this like zombie-like virus?
That dark side
ends up taking out Superman and Wonder Woman and Batman and everybody.
Always after those superheroes.
Yeah.
Right.
I always felt like he was like DC's answer to Thanos.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah, to a degree. I don't know which one was first. Probably Darkseid, but
yeah, or vice versa, whatever.
Right. But while we're talking about comic book news, another story that I actually talked about last night on the air: a Florida man was arrested after trying to cash in on a $1.4 million comic book heist. So this dude in Boca Raton, Florida, stole a collection of Batman comics worth $1.4 million back in January from a storage unit.
Wow.
And tried to sell some of the key books in Arizona. And because they're books that are extremely old, we're talking like books from the 50s.
And super rare. I'm sure there's only a few people that are on record of that.
Yeah, that are worth
owning.
So exactly. There's only so many of them in existence. And I'm sure there's some, key, like, hey, if you see a Batman 57 and it's got this part of the cover's missing and some kid wrote, Evan on the front cover, right, like that was my copy kind of thing. So, but he got busted. Man, I can't even imagine. First of all, I can't even imagine having a comic book collection worth $1.4 million.
Why would you keep that in a storage unit?
Yeah.
You know what you keep in your storage unit? Like an old couch, like maybe a dishwasher that might work, just taking up space in your house.
A leg lamp.
Yeah, a leg lamp, your
it's novelty a major award.
Things like not over a multi-million-dollar valued collection of comics.
Right.
Like I had my comics in the storage unit when I was moving, but like their value.
But you knew
like
they weren't worth
$4,
anything,
Right.
Yeah.
I think the most available comic in there was the first Phoenix issue of X-Men.
Okay.
I don't even know how much that's worth, but not $1 million.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, but like I said, first of all, I can't imagine my collection being worth that much. Second of all, I can't imagine finding out they caught the guy that stole them.
Yeah, but how excited are you finally justice? Like you're actually a part of real life justice.
Give me 5 minutes alone with my Batman costume with that guy.
You stole my comic books.
Well, then you go in there and just give him paper cuts between his fingers and toes.
Oh my God.
That's what you get. You steal the paper. The paper cuts back.
Where are they? So yeah, that's what's going on in the world of comics. Kind of dark times if you're working in comics, but like I said, thankfully DC's been killing it. If you go to your comic book store, there's a lot to go to your comic book store and check out. And I always encourage you guys to go to comicshoplocator.com. All right, we're going to take a short break. We're coming back. We got to talk this Avengers game and some more video game news. And of course, me and Al Beck got to rant and rave about the new Star Trek show. That's next on Nerd Radio. Welcome back to this week's Nerd Radio on the podcast page at WRIF.com. Al, where else can they find our podcast?
You can find us in Boston at rock929rocks.com and Fort Myers on 96krock.com, or you can just go to nerdradio101.com and it'll forward you to the download page at WRIF.com.
That's correct. You gold star.
Yeah, that's why I had to put up the nerdradio101.com.
So you didn't have to rattle all of that off.
Yes.
Well, at least once a show. I need to know.
Shut up.
That's funny. That was the motivation for him to get the domain was
right.
I don't want to have to say all the websites.
All I have to say to that is
Also, you can find us on Twitch on Wednesday afternoons. We're on the Checkpoint XP Twitch. And James, let them know where they can find that.
That is available at twitch.tv/checkpointxp.
That's right. We record the show on Wednesday afternoons, and then I put some production behind it, and we put it up on Friday morning, so you can download it and listen to it as a podcast, which I encourage you to rate and review wherever you're getting your podcast, and follow us on social media at Nerd Radio 101. Okay, that's the show. I guess I'll just no. We're gonna talk some video games now.
Hey, don't tease me. You said I could go home just now.
Yeah, I know. We all want naps. We're gonna talk some video games right now because over the weekend was the first closed beta for the Marvel's Avengers.
They opened up the beta for PS4 pre-orders on the Avengers game, and I and Robbie Landis from Checkpoint XP, we did a little stream together. We played the game, and I have to say,
you mentioned Robbie.
It's not one of those things you mentioned, speak of the devil.
Right.
He's not here? Okay.
No,
speak of the devil, he shall appear,
He's going to come in and tell me how bad I am at video games.
No, he's still working from home right now. So you're
okay,
good.
Good. So we're safe from Robbie.
Yeah.
But I have to say,
no! Okay, I'm sorry.
That's going to be a funny gag every time we say Robbie Landis.
Damn it!
No! But anyways, I have to say, I thought the game was a blast.
Okay.
So if you're going into the beta and you play with a friend, just know you're gonna have to play like an hour into the beta. Before it opens up to where you can play. Yeah. Before you can have a friend join you or friends join you online and squad up as all the Avengers. You play through, and I think they do a great job from the start. You immediately feel like you are a part of a Marvel movie.
Cool.
Like the whole setup and everything. They put you right in, and they give you the training wheels on the different characters, and they slowly remove the training wheels and kind of let you go on your own. And I would say I think they do a great job of having each character, each member of the Avengers feel different.
Okay.
So it's not like, the same buttons do the same thing for every person. They just do a different variation of that move or that attack. Like each Avenger.
One of them's a punch and one of them's a jump and one of them's, like a ability of some
that
sort.
stuff will still be like that. But like if you hit like a combination of your joystick and circle, or you hit the joystick and triangle, it might do different things for different characters. Like
depending on who you're playing.
So Black Widow might jump over somebody and like dodge an attack, while Captain America might do some sort of a weird move. But it's fun. I think it's a blast. Knowing that you can buy it now, and when it comes out for the PS5, you'll still get it for free.
Oh, that's
knowing
cool.
That all the downloadable content that's coming out in the future, different stories, different more Avengers get added, and all that kind of stuff, it's all going to be included in the price of that one game.
So it's not going to be like a season pass. Like when you buy the game, you pay $60 for the game, and every time they put a new character in, you just get them.
Correct. At least that's what the understanding that we have, or that I have, and from what we understand over at Checkpoint XP, that's how we understand it to work.
Excellent.
And it might get a little repetitive a little bit. At least now it's in the beta. So like in my mind, I'm like, oh man, I got to go through. I want to keep playing. I want to get as far into the game as possible. But I'm like, no, James, it's not open to play the entire game.
It's not the whole game yet.
They have a certain portion of the game set aside for people to play.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm gonna keep driving the story.
Well, the beta is like essentially two parts, right? It's the single player. It's the beginning of the single player game to get you up to the point where you can play the multiplayer.
Correct.
And the multiplayer is actually the stuff that I haven't seen yet. That I'm the most. But I watched Killer Hall, part of the Man Thong Mafia he's in the chat right now. I watched him play the single player over the weekend as well. And I'm a skeptic at this point. I don't know that game is something I have to have as soon as it comes out, but I want to be proven wrong.
I gotcha. Yeah, I mean, for me, like, if I wasn't involved in the things that we do, this podcast, the other Checkpoint XP show, and like just trying to like drum up an audience on Twitch,
absolutely,
I probably wouldn't rush out and buy the game.
Right.
I think it's fun. I think it's worth the money. But if I don't know, I think it's probably a little more complicated than like the Marvel Ultimate Alliance. because it's not as much as just mashing keys.
Okay.
Like you'll get up against some opponents, some enemies that are really powerful. If you're going up there, you're just smashing the same moves, you're gonna die. But you have to take time and plan out who you're gonna attack first. Like there's more to it than just
running up and punching a guy until he passes out.
Yeah.
I also thought it was really weird watching the single player that you've got all these guys in like riot gear that are punching Thor. Or like Thor's throwing his hammer and hitting this guy in riot gear and he's not just going flying. Like, what the F is this?
All those guys, they have some of the technology, some of that Stark technology that they stole.
Yeah.
My biggest gripe, which I think is weird, is the enemy you're up against is the Taskmaster.
Yeah.
He looks badass. He's got the skull mask and he's got a sword and a shield. Like he looks like a badass.
Right.
But his name is Taskmaster.
It is, unfortunately.
So like that's like somebody who, to me, the Taskmaster is like your boss at work. It's like, go clean the toilets. Go sweep the floors.
Guy who's actually giving you tasks.
Go clean the windows. Like all these menial little tasks that get done and he just annoys the crap out of you. This is who the Avengers are going against. Like, come up with a better name!
It is fascinating that character has existed since like the 60s and they haven't bothered to rebrand him with a cooler name than Taskmaster. Yeah. I also think it's hilarious. Like his power set is that he will watch somebody do something, like he'll watch Captain America fight and then he can do all Captain America's moves. Yet his win-loss record is awful. Like, how is that possible?
So he can learn everything but how to win.
Yeah. If a guy can like match you blow for blow, then how are you supposed to beat him in the first place? It sounds amazing in theory, but then like everybody ends up beating him anyways. So
I also didn't realize he was like Neo from the Matrix. Like all of a sudden,
he knows Kung Fu.
I know Kung Fu.
Yeah, right.
In the Twitch chat, Chris Berg wants to know if it's downloadable or hard disk. I'm guessing downloadable since it's the beta.
The beta is download. The game is going to be available, however.
Yeah.
Like I pre-ordered through Square Enix. And I'm going to get a physical copy sent to me, but after a couple emails, they tell you how you redeem
that's
codes
nice.
and stuff to where
because
you can still get the beta.
That was something I was interested in because this weekend is when you can download the first level of Tony Hawk, the Tony Hawk thing. Yeah,
okay.
that's when that demo goes up, and I'm looking forward to streaming that. But I was also thinking I'd really like to own a physical copy, but I don't think I can get the demo unless I buy it digitally.
Yeah, no. At least with Square Enix, you can pre-order a physical copy, and then the emails give you. It was kind of a crazy situation because I'm gonna get screwed.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Nothing like they give you this code. It's like a 20 like character code.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put this in the PS Store. Go in the PS Store, and as I'm putting the code in, I'm like halfway through the code, and the PS Store code cannot accept any more characters. So I'm like,
no.
Well, this isn't the key for the PS Store. What do I do? What do I do? And then some emails back and forth to Square Enix's customer support, which is not very good.
Oh, boy.
They pretty much, your princess is in another castle, multiple times. They're like, you're talking to the wrong group. You got to talk to these guys. So then I go talk to those guys. And they're like, no, you got to talk to these guys. And at that point, I'm like, F you. I'll figure it out on my own. But anyways, you have to go to you got to create an account, and then you put your code in, and then they give you another code that you then take that code, and then you put that in the PS Store, and then you can download the beta, and then everything is golden. But it's fun. They give you access to Thor, Captain America, Black Widow, the Hulk, Miss Marvel. I think that's it off the bat. So you're able to play with all those guys. Thor, I don't know that you can go back and play as a multiplayer,
but you get to play him in the.
But you get to play with him a little bit, and they paid attention to detail. So. Yeah, most games like Legend of Zelda, you throw something that comes back to you, you just throw it, and it eventually comes back, right? No, in Avengers, if you throw Thor's hammer, you throw it, and then you hit another button to call it back.
Oh, that's
cool.
You
can essentially throw it at that guy, move your character over here, punch the crap out of this guy, call your hammer back, and then the hammer can actually come back and hit another enemy on the way back. It's literally like you are taking part in a movie.
Yeah.
When you play this game, I think it's very well done. I'm looking forward to see what else they have in store, and which other Avengers they're going to add.
I heard that they're going to add Hawkeye, which I'm super pumped about. He's one of my favorites, thanks to the Matt Fraction comic. But one of the things that we skipped over last week is they announced that Spider-Man is coming to that game exclusively to the PS4.
Yeah, and that's another reason why I'm excited that I pre-ordered it on the PS4.
Yeah.
Because I get to play as Spidey.
Well, I know you're primarily an Xbox guy, so I definitely wanted to talk to you guys about the fact that, there have been other games that had exclusive characters. I remember specifically one of the Soul Caliburs on the original Xbox and PlayStation 2 and stuff. Like, if you got it on the Xbox, you could play as Yoda. If you got it on the PlayStation 2, you could play as Spawn or something. Like, they had the exclusive characters is not a new thing.
Okay, see, to me, I thought that was new. I was like, oh man, if I was just an Xbox guy and I had the Avengers game and I couldn't play as Spider-Man, I'd be pissed. I would be pissed.
But that does,
do you think they're taking advantage of people like the two of you guys that have both systems? They're trying to get you to buy it twice.
100%.
Oh, that could be absolutely.
Absolutely, but it's also
I only have a PlayStation, and I might be and I'm not going to get an Xbox. I don't game enough,
right?
So I might be annoyed if it was the other way around. And I like Spider-Man. I read Spidey comics and stuff, and if it was exclusive to Xbox, I might be a little annoyed. But I'm not going to go get it twice. I'm not going to go get another system just for that.
I'll tell you right now, I'd be pissed if they say, okay, well, since Spider-Man is only exclusive to the PS4, how about Doctor Strange is exclusive to the Xbox? Because then I'm like.
And I
really want to play as Doctor Strange.
Right. And that was something that Robbie had talked about with you on the stream too, is the fact that is that it feels Spider-Man feels like a major part of something like the Avengers. So to not include him in like the Xbox version or the PC version,
gotta feel a little bummed.
Yeah, it feels really. I mean, it's one thing that the Final Fantasy VII remake that we got on the PlayStation will come out on the Xbox a year later. Mm-hmm. That's one thing when it's like, okay, I gotta wait a little while. Fine, it's eventually available. Yeah. That's cool.
And that for a long time, Final Fantasy was exclusive to the PlayStation.
Yeah,
I think 7, 8, and 9 it was.
Well, before that, it was all Super Nintendo and Nintendo stuff. So it was very, very strange days when my Final Fantasies moved from Super Nintendo to
even
PlayStation.
10 and 10 too. That was PlayStation as well. I think it wasn't until 12 that they opened it up, and
I want to say it was 13.
13 maybe.
Yeah, because 13 is the one that you can get.
Yes,
on the,
that was the
360.
PS3 and the 3. Yes, 13.
But so I still don't. I'm gonna have to watch a couple more streams to really sell it, because like I said, the multiplayer is probably where it's the most important part of it to me, because like I said, watching people get hit by Thor's hammer and not go flying, I'm like, come on here, and all the voice acting, like we're so used to Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans that all the voice acting is just
It was weird to see the characters not be the ones on the screen, but it doesn't, to me, it didn't detract from the gameplay at all. But it was weird when you see Tony Stark, and I'm like, that's not my Tony Stark.
Not my Tony.
Not my Tony Stark.
The Deadpool game is super weird because it's not Ryan Reynolds.
It is not.
And the Deadpool games, he's got a deep voice and all that, But I think that game may have predated the first Deadpool movie, though.
Yeah. That was because remember I was saying last year when I played it for the first time, I was like, it is very strange to see any Deadpool things pre Ryan Reynolds now.
Yeah.
Like, he is not as warm and fuzzy as he is now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Ryan Reynolds essentially is Deadpool. Deadpool is Ryan Reynolds.
You got your comics, didn't you, Al?
I did, yes.
Okay,
thank you.
Picked up your comics because there was a new Deadpool in there.
There was. I didn't flip through them yet.
Actually, an issue of Deadpool I bought for myself. Really? Yeah, because he
was it $10?
It was not.
Okay.
No, but it has essentially an X-Men crossover. Like, he goes to the island of Krakoa where all the X-Men are, and they run him out because they're like, you're not actually a mutant, Wade. And even if you were a mutant, you're kind of a pain in the ass. So get out of here.
He sure is.
But I also wanted to mention, like I said earlier, Killer Hall was playing the demo over the weekend as well, and he sent me a couple paragraphs of how he felt about it. He said it's quite interesting when you start playing. I saw that he had a little bit of trouble with the Hulk part, jumping from platform to platform. And I was like, yeah, sometimes that 3D platforming can not be as
there's definitely some
cool
things in the game that are kind of a pain in the butt. I also feel like the game is very hard.
Yeah.
Like the game, even as a single player, I had to take the difficulty down to easy to play through all the single player stuff to get to the multiplayer.
But he said he really liked it, besides some little things. He said he was really into it. So it seems overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah.
Already.
I enjoyed it, and I know Robbie.
Oh, crap.
Oh, no. I know he enjoyed it. So and I think from what he had said, he is surprised as to how much fun the game is, and it was impressed. So if you can surprise Robbie, and he's also impressed by stuff like that, to me is like a huge badge of honor. He's a tough cookie.
I love this bit, but I'm not going to do it.
It's a 1 week bit.
Every time you say Robbie.
I mean, we were. Oh God! Oh crap! I'm moving. I can't even make it through the one bit. I can't do it once. It was just supposed to be his entrance music,
right?
Whenever he came into the room, but now it's every time we say the name of Robbie. Oh no!
There you go.
Yeah, it was delayed even on myself. So.
When's your Battletoads game coming out?
21st.
21st. That's cool.
Well, that's what says the 12th. 9 days.
Cool.
9 days.
Yeah, next week.
Have you seen some of the new trailers for the new Battletoads?
I have not watched them.
Okay.
No.
It looks like there's going to be a bunch of different styles of gameplay.
That's cool.
It's not just side scrolling beat 'em up action.
I was going to say, isn't it almost like F-Zero first person for the bikes?
Yeah, for the turbo tunnel.
Yeah.
At least from what I've seen.
Which is probably way easier to play.
I hope so.
Because
if you can't get past the turbo tunnels and they're going to keep it strictly adhering to what they did in the first one, I'm going to be very upset. I'm very upset. Almost as upset as I was at Kevin Smith and Jay Muse in the Jay and Silent Bob Mall Brawl game, because they have a level in that I'm like, I feel like I'm playing Battletoads level 3, but instead of a turbo bike, I'm in a shopping cart and I'm running into grandmas and pregnant women.
Yeah. All right. Well, so if you're on the fence for the Avengers game, I still feel like I'm not sure. Like I said, I'll have to watch a couple of people play it more.
And check it out too. Another offering some other kind of a beta this weekend. I'm not sure if it's open to only the pre-orders or what.
Right.
Or if they're just opening up the
if
beta
they just
to
do
Xbox and
if they just
PC
do a full-on
players.
hey, you can try the game out for free over the weekend, then I'll be in on that.
Yeah, I highly recommend everybody check it out if you're a Marvel fan or you're into that kind of gameplay. 'Cause that's not my kind of video game.
Yeah,
like a game like that, because it's like a Marvel. It's a bit RPG-ish because you find different things and you can upgrade parts of your body and armor and
stuff that you have to upgrade.
You can learn different skills. So there's a lot going on in the game, and I thought it was fun. I highly recommend. I think it's at least worth checking it out.
All right, cool. Let's take a short break and we'll come back. We got some Star Trek Lower Decks to talk about and more. Nerd Radio. I don't know what else I'm going to talk about, but I'm trying to keep the show on time. Nerd Radio's coming back. Welcome back to more Nerd Radio, wherever you get your podcast as part of the B-Pod Studios Network and all over your social media at Nerd Radio 101. Make sure you earmark nerdradio101.com as well, because that's where you can get forwarded to where the podcast is.
Yes. Earmark it. That's a very modern term.
I couldn't remember the term for it used to be put it in your favorites. What is it?
Bookmark it?
Yeah, bookmark it. Thank you. Bookmark
earmark. Isn't that like when you fold a page on a book?
It's true.
This is a digital platform, Chuck.
Yeah, well, that's why nobody lets me borrow comics.
Oh no, you're bending everyone's corners.
I just need to remember I was right here.
It seems like something I would do.
Son of a bitch! I'll slap you.
So this week, or I should say this past weekend, saw the release of the new Star Trek show, Star Trek Lower Decks. It is an animated show. We talked about it briefly before it came out. Essentially, Rick and Morty meets Star Trek. Mm-hmm. And I
like the sound of that. You got me sold on actually checking this out now.
I sat down and watched it Friday night. I think it dropped on Thursday.
Yes,
Thursday night or something like that. Yeah. I know, Al, you got a chance to check it out as well. I'm curious, what did you think?
It was all right. I mean, it is very much an Adult Swim style of comedy.
Absolutely.
So if you happen to be, and I think there is a large cross section of Trekkies and Adult Swim fans.
I'm sure.
I think it's a big thing for nerds.
Yep.
Then if you're into that, then it's going to be great for you. I'm not a big Adult Swim guy. I'm not really a Rick and Morty guy.
Breaking my heart.
I know you love Rick and Morty. I've tried it a couple times. I can't even get through the first episode.
Even just not being an Adult Swim guy, you're breaking my heart.
If it wasn't Star Trek, I probably wouldn't be interested in it at all. But
sure.
It does hit some of those notes for me. Like, for example, the first officer's kind of a dick.
Yeah.
But he's also the one who brings this infection onto the ship.
Yep.
And it just runs rampant. And then one of these lower deck, peons has to solve the problem, and then gets none of the credit for it.
Yep.
But that's the basic premise of that first episode. So I mean, like that kind of stuff, you see like a douchey Riker, and he's actually the one putting everyone on the ship in danger. But he's still kind of, so there's little things like that I appreciate. But I'll put it this way. I do have CBS All Access for Discovery and Picard. And, now we're going to have the Captain Pike series.
Right.
I would not pay for CBS for Lower Decks. It's there. I'm already paying for it.
Okay.
and I'll watch it. It wasn't like I hated it.
Yeah.
I had a good time.
So you would say the show is like sprinkles on your ice cream sundae.
It does, yes, exactly.
You'll take the sprinkles if they're offering it, but you don't really need the sprinkles because you got all the hot fudge.
And for me, it's crucial that it's only 30-minute episodes.
Yeah.
Like if it was an hour-long thing, I don't think I'd care.
I think just in general, I've come to the conclusion that like if something's an hour, then it better be something I'm really interested in. Otherwise, I cannot deal with it.
Yeah, but describing it as sprinkles is actually a perfect analogy, James. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, I
like it, but I'm not going to try and sell you on CBS All Access for it.
Well, I'm interested coming from a major Star Trek fan where you stood on it, because coming from somebody who's kind of a jack of all trades nerd.
Sure. Yeah.
I thought it was fantastic.
Did you?
I really thought it was fun. Like right from the word go, it has, and part of that is that the writer on it, Mike McMahon, has worked with one of the Rick and Morty guys. He actually did, what's the show on Hulu that has the same animation?
It's pretty much essentially like the exact ripoff of Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
But it's an alien family.
Solar Opposites.
Yes.
He's worked with Justin Roiland.
I really didn't mind. I thought that show was actually pretty good too. My fiance wasn't into it, so if I'm gonna watch it, I gotta watch it on my own time.
The animation doesn't feel as much as a ripoff of Rick and Morty. The animation definitely feels as more
similar voices, similar comedy.
Yeah, similar comedy. Like the way the jokes hit is very similar.
The timing.
The one character, you've got the main character dreams of being a officer on the bridge, somebody who really really matters, but he's just somebody that is essentially a janitor that works on his stuff. And his friend, you find out through the episode, is actually the daughter of the captain.
Oh.
And she is the Rick of the show. Like she's just kind of a monster and does all the wrong things, but then also is super street smart and is the one that actually gets them out of jams when bad things happen.
Interesting.
And that's why her mom wants to, her mom is embarrassed by her and wants to essentially kick her off her ship and get her out of Starfleet because she's an embarrassment. So she goes to the main character, her mother, the captain of the ship, and says, I want you to let me know whenever she does anything wrong. And then by the end of the episode, he's like, I can't rat on her because she kind of saved us all. So he doesn't. But it's charming, much like Rick and Morty can be charming.
Oh, yeah.
But it's also got a really biting sense of humor.
Is there any like darkness to it? Because Rick and Morty get dark.
Yeah, no, there's a little bit of darkness to it, but I appreciated that it absolutely felt like a Star Trek episode. Like they went down to a planet, they came back with some kind of virus which infected a bunch of the crew. They had to figure out how to make an antivirus for the crew. Yeah, so I didn't even think of that. Yeah. But it felt like Star Trek to me. And there's something to be said. Like, I know you were a huge fan of the Orville, too.
Yeah.
There's absolutely something to be said for doing a show like this in the Star Trek canon.
Yeah.
Is like, even as cool as the Orville is, I feel like this is cooler because you have the Starfleet uniforms and you have the ships and you have
the Orville is so based on Star Trek, but he's got to dance around it a lot. Like, quantum drive instead of warp drive.
Right.
I think they specifically stay away from transporting just so it's not that obvious. But, there's a lot of... You can tell that Seth MacFarlane is a huge Star Trek fan when you watch the Orville.
Right.
But, no, I really do feel like if you have like I said, that cross-section between Star Trek fans and Adult Swim fans, like, it doesn't shock me that you loved it so much, Chuck, because you are a big fan of Rick and Morty. And
I'm an Adult Swim guy.
You are an Adult Swim guy, so... It does not shock me that you like it better than I do, and I do like it. I mean, I liked Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Like, there's some of that stuff does hit me, but I mean, it's all right. But I think again, that's my review though. If you're a Trekkie and you love Adult Swim style of cartoons,
this is going to scratch your itch.
You'll love this show.
That's cool. I'll probably have to definitely check it out just from Al's review and the comparisons to Rick and Morty. Plus,
I think you'll enjoy it.
Any appreciation for Star Trek, James, at all, or because I know you're a big Star Wars guy.
I enjoy the newer movies, to be honest.
Okay.
I think the newer movies
Chris Pine
are
ones.
well done. Yeah, and like my mom grew up on Star Trek, so like Star Trek and Captain Kirk, that's been a household name my whole life.
Yeah.
But I've always gravitated more towards the Star Wars when it comes to intergalactic like franchises. It's always been Star Wars. But what also fascinates me is the idea that all you see is like all the primary players on the show. This cartoon is about the peons, like the people that you don't hear about.
The 200 other people on the show that just walk by in the background.
The people that are cleaning the toilets, the people that are cooking the food, the people that are scrubbing stuff, the people that are usually crapped on.
Aside from the handful of appearances by Mott the Barber in TNG.
Right. Or Lieutenant Barkley.
Yeah, Barkley.
Shows up every now and then. Like, if you like Lieutenant Barkley, this is a show of nothing but Lieutenant Barkleys.
Yes. Yeah.
So that was combined with all the reviews from you guys, like I'm interested. You have my attention.
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it a lot.
Good old Barclays. Was it Murdoch from A-Team?
Yeah.
Yeah, Murdoch.
He plays that? He
plays the character Barkley.
That's a crazy guy, Murdoch. If he's anything like that in real life, that guy's a nut.
Al, can you imagine your child not liking Star Trek?
Yeah. A lot of people don't. I can imagine.
He's like, yeah. Actually, I thought about that quite a bit.
You know what?
I had to figure out how to position that question too, because if I said, Al, can you imagine having a child, you'd have cut me off and be like, no.
Right. I am a child. I am currently my own only child.
Right.
But, no, I am more disappointed that it's so funny because I do prefer Trek over Wars.
Yeah.
But I love them both. And it disappoints me more that my nephew isn't crazy about Star Wars rather than he doesn't really care at all for Star Trek. And he likes Wars better than Trek. Yeah. But it's like, man, I understand when people don't like Star Trek, but how can you not appreciate Star Wars?
How can you not find something in Star Wars that you go like, whoa, that's cool?
Well, to me, Star Trek's always been more of the higher brow intergalactic franchise.
That is correct, yes.
That's what I feel. I feel like it's more like intelligence and more
I'm here to confirm
like political type stuff. When Star Wars, it's all bing, bang, boom, action, adventure, whoosh, robots and stuff,
I figured out
the lower brow of the intergalactic.
I'm still pretty entrenched in Star Wars Battlefront 2, and I figured out what kind of person I would be if I existed in the Star Wars universe. Yeah. Because I can't tell you how many times I'm playing, and then whether I'm on the dark side or the light side, somebody playing a Jedi will run by me and kill me, and every time I'm like, Jedis are bullshit. And that would be who I'd be I don't know that I'd be a smuggler or something like that. I'd probably be a moisture farmer or something like that. But I would constantly be in the pub yelling, Jedis are bullshit, man. You got a laser sword and you friggin' stupid powers. All these people are just trying to make a living out here in the universe with our blaster guns and our ships that are falling apart.
Chuck would be the Droid Lives Matters guy.
Right.
I would probably befriend droids.
Yeah.
I probably would have a lot of droids.
I'd be a Hutt.
What is your criteria that you would be a Hutt?
Body type, mostly. We wear the same size bikini.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Oh, man.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I never thought I'd actually equate Star Wars to being the fart joke of intergalactic franchises.
But it kind of is. Yeah, it kind of brings it full circle.
Yeah.
So, looking forward to checking out that Tony Hawk demo this weekend. And
that's cool. I might have to put that on my radar, too. I got a busy weekend. I'm not going to have time to do anything.
Yeah. And looking forward to you guys letting us know what you think about this particular episode. As always, I encourage you guys to follow us. We're on social media. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. And we're on Facebook at Nerd Radio 101. And now we're on the internet, NerdRadio101.com, where you can be forwarded to where you can get the podcast. Al, James, we're going to cut it short this week because I am starving.
I'm starving, too.
And I'm sure we could all use a nap. So thank you for hanging out. Thanks for your review of Avengers. Thanks for letting me know what you think of the Star Trek show. I got some news that we'll push off until next week, and we'll be back with some more Nerd Radio.